I asked you all a question about the difficulty of trying to be happy, right? The commandment to love. Kind of interesting, there's a commandment. It must be there's a yetzer hara not to, right? Or that there's some difficulty involved. You have to love your neighbor, you have to love the ger. Doesn't say you have to love your children, ironically, because that happens automatically. You have to love the Lord, right? You also have to fear Him. You have to love your parents. You have to revere your parents and respect them. These are all difficult things. You have to understand, come to a knowledge of God, and you actually have to be happy on certain occasions. And as the quintessential litvak, I'll tell you guys just the Ma'aseh Shahaya yesterday in the synagogue. I got up amongst a bunch of Breslevers, and I told them, if I'm not mistaken, today's the yurtzeit of Rabbeinu. And they all start correcting me, no, Rabbi Nachman's yurtzeit was Yud Ches, okay, the fourth day of Sukkot. I said, no, I'm pretty sure, they mentioned Rabbi Nachman, I said, pretty sure Rabbeinu's yurtzeit was today, is today. And they didn't get it, and I picked out the calendar, I said, see, the Vilna Gaon's yurtzeit. Okay? Rabbeinu, okay? For Misnagdim. And yes, it got, Baruch Hashem, it got a good laugh. So, the Vilna Gaon was a perfect individual. So, it says that came Simchas Torah time, so he was suddenly like super happy and celebrating, and they put the Sifrei Torah back, and he went back to regular Yontif happy. The Vilna Gaon had modes of happiness. So he was ordinary during the week, and then on Yontif he suddenly just upped a notch. I guess he allowed himself to eat meat at that point because he was vegetarian most of the time. And on Simchas Torah he was able to just up the happiness. And as someone who's not naturally inclined to be that type of happy, even though I'm partly Hasidish in my background, it's not like it didn't really rub off, you know. And I struggle, especially at times like this, because as you hear we're discussing, we're in the middle of a war that started 2 years ago, almost today, and Am Yisrael, at least those who really believe in Hashem and want to keep the mitzvahs, has been unable to fight this war as per the Torah. Now, we grew up, hopefully studying Torah. We read about when Am Yisrael wants to win, okay, and believes in Hashem, they could do great things, and we have holidays about that. We have biblical heroes. Ironically, none of the great military victories of, let's say, the times of the Shoftim and David HaMelech were established as Jewish holidays, right? There would have been too many of them. But the Maccabees did it. In Second Temple times, they had a whole Megillas Tainus. They started making holidays left and right. Butler Megillas Tainus. Okay, so maybe they had a Megillah back then in times of the Nevi'im. Butler Megillas, whatever the Nevi'im had with the destruction of the first temple. I don't know. I wonder. Maybe someone who could actually look into that. We wanted to do holidays. We wanted to celebrate a holiday. Now, just like the Shalit deal happened on Chol Moed Sukkot, was it 14 years ago? 14 years ago. 14 years ago, brought about by the same main individual, the powers that be. They foisted this Shalit deal upon the people of Israel. And how'd that work out for us? Okay?
They got us 1,200
so,
plus people murdered.
Yes.
1,300.
So if I were into statistics, maybe I would calculate that in approximately 14 years, it's going to be a heck of a lot worse because of what's going down. So yeah, as you say, your sons are going to have to fight the next war, or just fight the next stage of the current war. You know, their historians argue World War I and World War II, are there separate wars or just two separate rounds?
Separate rounds.
You know? Yeah, so that's what you say. Okay, fine. But I look, the Roman numeral 1 and 2, they're pretty distinct. You know? So I don't know who decides these things, who writes in history. My point is, we're sitting in a situation right now where we are commanded to be happy. And we are commanded now to do something. It's certainly not pashut. I don't know, is it, you celebrate tomorrow? Yes. Like the rabbi said it. Families are going to celebrate tomorrow, but Am Yisrael should take heed. I want to tell people, tomorrow is Monday. If it were not Hoshana Rabbah, we should have a fast day tomorrow. We've had fast days now for those who've been following, and some of us have been very good about this. Should be having fast days Monday and Thursday. Nothing has changed since the beginning of the war. And maybe we should have been fasting if we had someone who's inspired and knew to avoid this. There were Tanaim who knew that the Churban was coming, and they acted accordingly. Didn't help. Well, maybe it did help. It ameliorated the process. It softened the blow. Right now, we are in trouble.
Do you
So
recommend
watch out.
Bahab?
What?
Do you recommend Bahab?
Bahab?
Yeah.
Yes.
At least.
Yes. Yes. 100%. We are not out of the woods yet, and we need to be happy. I only hope that the right people rise up. I was surprised when the war started. I put out a video telling soldiers, don't go to Gaza to begin with. They're not going to let you do what really needs to be done. It could have been done easier. Other people who are older and wiser than me already laid out a plan to win this war without having a single soldier go into Gaza. Did they do that? That's what the Torah recommends. There's something called a siege. I remember arguing with a senior-most rabbi who made Aliyah about these points. Maybe you saw it. It made no sense. He didn't have anything to say from classic sources. Nowadays things are different. That's what he just kept saying. Nowadays things are different. Nowadays, I guess we have to lose. Nowadays we have to be compassionate to Nazis. It doesn't make any sense. Yes, so we should be fasting, but we have to be happy. So try to be happy. What makes me happy? First thing is kids. Some of you don't have kids yet, so hang with your kids. Seeing your kids fight over who gets that last bed in the sukkah is Baruch Hashem a good thing to see. Or that my son was suddenly jabbing me. He's like, but what time is it? Oh, good. There's still 15 more minutes before he has to go to the shul for whatever they're doing. So that's good. Should be happy with those things. And also you should be happy. This is, like we said last year, what is the holiday of Sukkot? The 15th of Tishrei. What happened on the 15th of Tishrei in Jewish history that we celebrate? This is a 50-point question. I've said the answer like every single time I'm here. So if you don't know it, you should lose 50 points. But I'll give 50 points. No, close. I said the 15th of Tishrei. What? Yeah, okay, the youngster got it. They started building the Mishkan. The Vilna Gaon. This is the anniversary of, this is a continuation, the anniversary of the beginning of the construction of the tabernacle when the clouds of glory came back. It doesn't discuss it 3 years past. The Vilna Gaon says everybody agrees that the Sukkah is supposed to be like a cloud of glory. That opinion you have in the Bavli that's Sukkah's mamish, asu, is a shibush. Okay? Everybody says the correct understanding is clouds of glory, God's presence. The clouds of glory returned because they started building the Mishkan. Why? Asu li mikdash shachanti b'tocham. God doesn't actually dwell in a tabernacle or a base of mikdash. He actually dwells among everybody, those who understand Him. So you sit in the sukkah, you have the right frame of mind, you're in the right state of happiness, which maybe I have to drink some more wine to get to. But if we could do that, then we will have a sense of understanding where the Shekhinah is. So that's what we celebrate on the beginning of the holiday. And the bookend of the holiday, Shmini Atzeret, what happened in Jewish history on that day that became a Jewish holiday? The inauguration of the first temple. It started on the 8th of Tishrei, but the culmination was Shmini Atzeret. And that's why Chazal said the Haftarah you're supposed to read on Shmini Atzeret is about that event. It's kind of funny that here in Eretz Yisrael they changed the minhag, so they're unaware of what Shmini Atzeret is about. It's all Simchas Torah and stuff. But if you do the right type of cycle, the 3-year cycle, there's no Simchas Torah. Okay, the 3-year cycle does not have a Simchas Torah. The Eretz Yisrael cycle. That's what we're supposed to celebrate, and as we pointed out before, it just meant for the first, almost 500 years of Jewish history since Sinai, Jews celebrated Shmini Atzeret without knowing what's going to happen. It was a blank day. It's like designated holiday on the calendar because something's supposed to happen on that day in our future history, but it has yet to happen. That's kind of funny. Remember, Eli Cohen and Shmuel Navi, when they're sitting around Shmini Atzeret celebrating, they left their sukkahs. Do you think they asked each other, what happened today in Jewish history that we're celebrating? Okay, they both didn't live to see it. Therefore, like I tell the kids, just like the 7th day of Pesach was a blank day in Jewish history, they should have asked Moshe Rabbeinu, what's supposed to happen on the 7th day of this festival? The first day is when we leave Egypt. You told us that's going to happen. That's going to happen in a few days. Why is the 7th day a Mikra Kodesh? What's supposed to happen on the 7th day? I wonder if anybody asked Moshe Rabbeinu, if Moshe Rabbeinu had an inkling. God maybe didn't tell him, but you know what happened that day? 6 days later was Kriyas Yam Suf. That's when it became a holiday. It was in potential. So too, Shmini Atzeret remained in potential for centuries until it actually happened. My calendar is marked with future holidays. And that's why I find it so funny. You buy the Eaton Levina calendar, those men of little faith who publish the calendars, tell me when the fast of Tisha B'Av will start to end, God willing, this summer. Okay? And they even put a thing, and it's 1,957 years since the destruction of the Second Temple. They put that in the calendar. It means they're looking forward to Tisha B'Av. They're gonna fast again on Tisha B'Av. I've been telling people for years, don't put that in your calendar. It's a holiday. There's an upcoming holiday. The next holiday is the 10th of Teves, if I'm not mistaken. That's an upcoming holiday. It's been marked down. I want that to be a holiday already. My calendar is marked with 4 days that are meant to be holidays already. My point is, we know what's supposed to be, and right now we're dancing around it. When the war started, we had silver platter. There was so much that could have been done. Am Yisrael easily could have conquered all the promised land, gotten rid of its enemies. The enemy's fighting for the Beis HaMikdash. Are we fighting for the Beis HaMikdash? What's going on? This is the holiday of the Beis HaMikdash. So we have a lot of potential here, and we're dancing around it. It's like going to the Kotel. You stop right at the line. Okay? So you see people race to get to the Kotel and then stop. It's a very good mashal. They're literally stopping right there. They run to get there. They push and shove off the packed buses, every way to get as close as possible and then stop. That's exactly what's going on right now. I don't mean to pull everybody down on their holiday, but that's what I see. We're this close and just not going right, not going there. Remember what the rabbi said last year? He sat right here. He said it. He said that the whole idea of not going to the Beis HaMikdash today, it's like a cult. That was the word he used. I was asked about that. Some guy said, your rabbi said this and that. And he said, well, he's entitled to say what he said. It's not what I said. I don't think I would have used the word cult. You know why? Because unfortunately, it's the majority of Am Yisrael, and most of Am Yisrael is not a cult. We're the weirdos. Still, we're the minority. It's not that it's not cult-like. It's just that they haven't woken up. They're the 80% still. Kal Mushima Luvnei Yisrael Me'eretz Mitzrayim. There's 20% that are going to go out. That's a medrash. 80% are going to stay. That's where we're sitting right now. Pshat is all of Am Yisrael left Egypt. That's Pshat. So I'd like to bridge. I don't want to be that midrashic 20% who are ready for the Gula. We're ready for 100%. Okay? You think like even the Erev Rav, they left Egypt. Even Dasan of Aviram left Egypt. Yeah, that's where we have to get to.